Hello and welcome to Kitchen Counter Crafts. If you like this video, would you please like, comment, share, subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so you can be notified of new videos coming up. So since I got this pocket letter, and again, pocket letter is by Janet or Jeanette Lane. You can just Google that. It's one of her creations. It's basically taking like the Pokemon card or trading card sleeves and then turning that into a letter, and it fits right into a standard size envelope. But what you do is you put these little cards that are 2.5 by 3.5 inches long. And so what you do is, like I introduced this in video 1, the different types of things that you can put into a pocket letter, which makes it so fun. And with Easter's coming up and Mother's Day, I just think the possibilities are endless. But what it's done for me is sent me on this total wild goose chase of trying to make some ATCs, which are artist trading cards. So in a couple different videos, I'm attempting to do that. And I have one that I've already done. I can put the link below. But basically in that last video, I cut these out of cardstock from Costco or Sam's Club, I don't remember. It's one of the two big box stores, and they use them as shelf dividers in between their pallets, and so they're free, and it's a massive amount that you can get for free, so you don't even have to purchase them, and they're not too shabby in terms of weight. So I cut these ATCs, and ATC stands for Artist Trading Card size, and it's a standard size of 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And so then of course I start looking and seeing what else can I do to not just make these ATCs, but I'm always looking for ephemera to put inside my junk journals, and I never know what to put inside pockets. So this is just a great thing for me to be focusing on for right now. So I got a card. So this was a card, like a standard size greeting card, and I just glued it to the back of the card, and I got 4 ATCs. You can even see where they wrote me a message in there. Yep, February 2023. And so I'm just going to glue that edge down, and I have 4 ATC sized cards out of that, and then these regular kind of cardstock. And then I went into my paper stash, and this is all cardstock that you can purchase scrap packs from. Hobby Lobby has them, and also Walmart, but they come in all different random kind of sizes. But the nice thing is you get like a variety of different colors in these stashes. So I took some of these down and whittled them into the ATC card size. So I've got a nice stack of these that are all different colors. And so I have this. So I'm getting kind of a nice stack going here and I just like it because it's all the same size. So there's that. And then I also grabbed my map book, and I'm going to show you this map book I have, and that's my dog drinking in the back if you hear water being lapped up. Anyway, this is a Reader's Digest Atlas of the World, and it's gigantic, as you can tell. It is like, oh, I don't know, I'm not even going to guess. All right, it's 10.5 inches by, I think I measured it at about 15 inches. So 10.5 by 15, which gives me a lot of paper to work with. And the cool part of this, I know I'm not able to get all this. Oh yeah, there's like an ice cream box in here. Don't mind that. I was using that for something else, but there's some other great graphics that I can use. I'm going to be working on a celestial type of a journal. So I'm like collecting all my papers for that here, so I can add these to it, which I think is going to be great, right? So anyway, not to get too far into this, but basically what I did was, this book is sewn together. And by the way, I just picked it up for a few dollars. And if you think about it, it's like a scrapbook paper pad, really. And so what I did was I came in here and I took apart, and I'm going to just zoom in here. It's all sewn together. So I took it apart, where I just cut the threads, and then you're able to actually pull out, I'm going to zoom back out now so you can see what I'm talking about. You can pull out full sheets of maps. So, I mean, not that I need this for maps, but what it allows me to do is to gather up in the back. There's like a, there we go, an index. And so it gives me these gigantic sheets of just writing, and it's just, I think it's just glorious. So you can pick these up used, and I know that online you can get them for fairly cheap as well. And so you get these big, huge, massive map size things. So I took, this is just one page, and so just a half, you know, like a one side like that. And so I made some ATC card sizes out of that, and the paper's not too thick, not too thin. I'm gonna say probably 24, 26 pound paper weight ish. So you have both sides, and in that pocket holder you can actually see both sides to it. So I thought that looked really, had a really nice look to it. So that's one stack. And then I took 2 pages of that index and then made those into cards too, which I think are just, I just love the writing on these. So I thought that was great, and it just makes me happy to have everything all uniform here. So, and maps, I don't know what it is about maps, they just make me happy. I should have been a cartographer because I draw maps for church stuff and for Sunday school, because we're in the book of Acts and just chronicling Paul's journey. Okay, that's a total aside. So what did I do with that little map piece? Well, I took it to my sewing machine. By the way, when I'm working on stuff in bulk, I don't bother just cutting. I just kind of work through this with my machine, but I just wanted to show it to you. So I did a zigzag stitch, and you don't have to have a sewing machine to do this. You can just glue it down. But because that still was thin, I took it and put it on some Amazon packing paper, and then I took a book page just to have a little bit of journaling space in the back. Yeah, it looks totally messy in the back, and I'm just leaving it because the next card's gonna go there. And so I took a few layers. Now, I'm just gonna share with you a little secret that a friend who does scrapbooking and mixed media and stuff like that shared with me, and she said, you should have at least 4 to 5 layers. So 4 to 5 layers, just so that you add interest. So on here, this is actually my layer 1. This is like the front. I don't count the back. So in the front, and I would just cut this part off, just so it can sit inside, or I might not, I don't know. I kind of like it sticking out. So this is the first layer. So that's layer 1. The map is layer 2. Then I have another little bit of craft paper, that's 3. This piece I just added for a little bit of contrast, just so it would pull out some of the blues in the map. And plus I just am in love with this color. I think it's a really pretty complement. So where was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just a piece of book page is 5. This gauze is 6, and then I put a little stamp up here for 7. So I have 7 layers on there, and you can see that it adds quite a bit of interest. So it's just a little ATC, and I may actually add 1 more layer, and that last layer is going to be metallic paint, just because I like to glam everything up. So that's gonna have that on there, and I just glued that stamp on there. And that's not a real stamp. You can just follow me on my journey here. So my father-in-law collects stamps, or used to collect them, and he gave me some of his old books. These are just stamp books to see what the values are. And this is super, super old, and he had multiple books, so I didn't feel too bad about tearing this up. But just the paper on it, it reminds me of the old Bible paper. It's a really nice kind of weight, and it has a lovely crinkle to it. And these are stamps from Somalia, and they have like Arabic writing on them, which is great because the maps that I have here are maps of the Middle East. And so I don't know if you can see, but it has like Asweda on here, and then Haifa for Israel, and then the Gulf is right there. I mean, not that anybody's like looking at this that detailed, but I am. So there's a part of Turkey over here. Anyway, and so there's Beirut, the phonetic spelling too, and so Gulf of Oman. So all of these are Middle Eastern maps here on Jordan. So anyway, I've got some Middle Eastern writing to kind of complement it, and I thought that was kind of great. So, and this is just cool. So anyway, so there's some with the Arabic writing on there. And some don't have that, and that's okay too. But I just thought, you know, cutting it out with my handy dandy pinking shears and just making them look back like a stamp was my kind of thought process in that. So if you can come across one of these, I would encourage you to do that. Again, you can pick them up in a used bookstore for, I don't know, $4, $5, something like that. And it's usually about yay thick. And then you have all these stamps to your heart's content. What I also do is I take a little bit of watercolor and just kind of wash them with a little bit of watercolor to just give them that added depth of color. So that is another one that I made. Some other ideas I have on this is, of course, gathering up your napkins and kind of adding just a thin little layer of napkin on there. That would be another great layer. You can use your stamps. So because I'm using some stamps and it's kind of around the world, I have a hot air balloon. I have a little ship with a canceled stamp on there. Here's another ship. So I thought those would be great, or just, you know, using some of these on there. So that's another one. And of course, you can always use scrapbook paper, right? Because that's just another layer. So I've got some scraps. And then I also have these origami sheets, which I think are quite lovely. So when I get to the maps of Asia, I probably most likely will be using some origami sheets on there as well. Okay, one more thing. I don't know, one more thing. Oh, yes. A couple more things. Whoops. These origami sheets I got from Daiso, that Japanese Dollar Tree. And if you're interested in knowing more about Daiso, I have a video for that. And all right, so that's origami paper. What else did I have on my counter here? This I got from AliExpress. It was kind of interesting. So it's a box of stickers, and it comes with a whole bunch of different ones. And I have to tell you, I mean, it's, you know, from China, so you get what you get. So it came in sheets that you literally have to cut apart yourself, which kind of stunk, but it does have quite a few sheets in here. I don't remember how many they said. I'm trying to figure it out. It doesn't really say, and I can't read Chinese, so there you go. But it's got a stack of sheets, and yes, some of the images are in Chinese, but I thought those would look kind of cool in the Asian map section as well. So anyway, other than this, like, I love it. Rat, I don't know what that is, but motivation. I mean, you can use some of the lettering. Some of these were cool. So, and again, some with Asian writing, but other ones are kind of cool. So, this is for my paper dolls. But anyway, so just thought that's not too shabby, and I'll just be cutting out some of these images to use as layers as well. So you can always use stickers as an additional layer. And then this is what I was going to say. Oh, we're drinking water again. Okay. All right. So there was this thing called Project Life, and this is fairly popular a few years ago. I tried to look it up. There's still some of these available on Amazon, but they are, I don't know what they're called. They're just called scrapbooking kits, I think. They're Project Life by Becky Higgins, but it's a plethora of cards that might have some benign sayings like "today is a gift," which it is. And but these cards are just beautiful, and I forgot all about them until, you know, I went on my little scavenger hunt for ATCs. However, look at that. They are just a little too large. And so they're not going to fit into that folio, and I think they do it on purpose because they want you to buy their little sleeves, but and it would be such a shame to cut off all that beautiful edging on this card. However, what I did was I dug through some of these, and then I looked for some that had like hardly anything that, you know, would matter. So like on this one, I could bump it up to the top and maybe just cut off the date, or bump it down and cut off that edge and use that edge on something else, but the back remains useful. And then here's another one. The colors are a little too bright, but in something like this, that would totally work. So see how much bigger that is? So I could still, you know, cut around, maybe use that edge on something else, use that back on something else. So anyway, that's just another thought and idea that I had. I don't know, like living in the moment. And anyway, I like this side of that. So I'm more for the, I don't know, just the blander colors. But this is the Jade edition in case anybody was interested in looking at that. So anyway, here's just some ATC ideas that I had. I'm going to be working more on making some of these map ones because I'm just absolutely in love with them. Oh, and then one more thing, one more idea that I'm going to be working on. I'm just sharing this so that you can then see what I've kind of come up with. This is a pad by Colorbach, and it's called Vintage Treasures. And I picked this up at Michael's for like $5, not joking. So it has 50 sheets in it, and all of them kind of look junk journal-y, but the sheets are massive. So they're really, really big size, like yay big. So when I cut them up for junk journaling, I think some of them were great where you could use the images like this, but some not so much. However, there was this one big sheet, and I believe that each of these letters is going to be just the right size to capture for these ATCs. So anyway, I'm going to be making a few of those as well, as many as this 12 by 12 is going to let me. So I'm going to be working on all this, and why don't you join me for the next video where I kind of show what this starts to look like, and then maybe share a few more ideas on what I'm doing and making. And again, this is just layers upon layers, and what we're looking at is having at least 4 layers. So again, this one with a craft book page, which I can't find now. And then also I was thinking about just even doing something plain like this. So you have that, or maybe even putting that on this, and even utilizing a part of this in there. So using a few different layers to create some complementary cards, if you will, and just kind of gluing all that together. So maybe I'll do another video of me making some of these, maybe not, but just wanted to share ideas for ATCs and how to gather all of that up. So just gathering up supplies, and I will then see you in the next video where I put some of these together. All right, until next time, bye.